Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammad Fakhrul Sajib. In this tutorial, we are going to learn Java Database Connectivity (JDBC). We will use MySQL database. First, we will create project, new project, Java application. Click on next. Project name. You can give any name. I'm giving JDBC demo. Click on finish. First, we have to give the URL is string URL equal JDBC colon MySQL colon forward slash. We have to give the localhost or localhost IP address. This is MySQL workbench. This is localhost and port number is 3306. You can also give the IP address of localhost, that is 127.0.0.1. I'm copying this, and port number is 3306. CSC. This is actually my database name. I will create the database later. First, you have to give the JDBC, then colon MySQL colon, then forward slash IP address forward slash and the database name. I will give the database name CSC. Then I have to give the username and password of my MySQL database. String username equal my MySQL username is root, RWT root, RWT root, semicolon, string, then password equal. My password is 1234. If you give wrong password or wrong username, you will get error. Therefore, provide correct username, password and URL. Now we have to register JDBC driver. For that, you have to use class dot for name. Class for name is the static block of driver class which loads driver. com dot mysql dot cj dot JDBC dot driver. We have to add Java lang class not found exception. For Java database connectivity, we need to add MySQL Connector. First, we have to download MySQL Connector. This MySQL Connector 8.0.23. We'll download this. As I have already downloaded it, I am not downloading it now. And also, you have to first also unzip the folder. Then you will find this folder. We have to add this one. MySQL Connector Java 8.0.23.jar file. Look at here also. You have to download it, and also look the this one operating system is platform independent. If you do not select any operating system, you will not find anything. You have to first select the operating system that is platform independent, then we will download this one 4.6 megabyte zip archive. Then no thanks, just start my download. As I've already downloaded it, I'm not downloading it now. You have to also download MySQL community to work on MySQL. I will put this website link in the description, and also I will put this website link in the description. This is MySQL community server to download MySQL. You have to download it. I've already created MySQL tutorial for beginners. You can also check here also to how to download MySQL and how to work on MySQL. I've already uploaded 21 videos. You can also check that. And I have also created Java programming tutorials. This is beginner Java programming tutorials for beginners. I've already uploaded 20 videos. Inshallah, I will upload more videos. You can also check here Java tutorial and
Assalamualaikum.
also MySQL tutorial for beginners. This 8.023 was released on 18 January 2021. You can also read the changes in MySQL connectivity J 8.023. I will also put this website link in the description if you want to read it. The changes, depreciation and removal notes, functionality added or changed, bug fixed. Now I will add MySQL connector on my project. First, you have to right click on the libraries, then add jar folder. I have already selected it. You can also think that is also on my desktop. Then open, connect, click on open. Jar file has been added. If we do not add MySQL connector, we will get an error in the runtime. So you have to add it. This MySQL connector Java jar for Java database connectivity with MySQL. Look here, libraries. This is my project JDBC demo, and libraries. You have to add MySQL connector Java 8.023 jar. Now you have to create connection. 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 Connection actually interface. We cannot create object. Driver manager dot get connection. Here you have to give the username and password. We have to import connection, import space java dot sql dot connection. Also we have to import driver manager dot driver manager, then semicolon. We have to add java sql dot sql exception. It is added here. Now we have to create statement. Is statement statement, statement statement. First we have to import statement, then import SQL statement dot statement connection dot create statement. If you hover your mouse by pressing Ctrl on keyboard, you can see statement is also interface. We cannot create object, and here connection is also interface. We cannot create object here. Now we have to write the query. We want to select or fetch all data from our MySQL database table using JDBC, but we have not created the database and table on MySQL. Just writing query equal, then let's go to MySQL and create database and table and insert some values so that we can select or fetch data using JDBC. This is MySQL workbench. Click on that. First we will create database, create database CSC. That's why we have give the database name CSC here. You have to give the database name. I am creating database CSC. Then use CSC, create table student. Table name is student. Column name ID, integer, not null. Name, data type worker. Length, suppose giving 50, not null. Primary key, ID. Create database CSC, use CSC, create table student ID integer not null, name worker length 50 not null, primary key ID. Suppose giving one line drop database if exist CSC. Now we will execute command, execute the selected statement. If you refresh here, you can see our database is CSC and table student column ID name. Now we will insert 4 rows or records into a table. Insert into CSC, that is database, table name student, column ID and name, values, one MD, 2. I'm giving my name Fakhrul, Fakhrul. Then semicolon. Now run, execute the selected portion. Now we'll check whether our data added or not. Select star from database name CSC and table name student. Execute the selected portion. See, 1 MD, 2 Fakhrul, 3 Alam, 4 Sajib. Now we'll select or fetch all records or rows from our student table using JDBC application. I'm copying this line. Now we need result set. The select statement is the standard way to select rows from our database and view them in a result set. That means result set is used to access query results retrieved from the relational databases. Result RSULT. By the way, result set is an interface. We cannot create its object. Statement dot execute query, execute query, You have to pass this query here. You have to also import result set. Next step is to extract data from result set. We will use while loop here using the next method. While result dot next. Then next step is to retrieve by column name. Integer id, you can give any name, equal result dot get int. Here you have to give the column name. If you go to the MySQL, column name is id. Type it carefully because if you give the wrong name, we will get error. First one is id, then string name equal result result dot get string that is name and name. After that, display values by using system.out print or system.out print ln. SOUT tab, we don't need ln, print id SOUT, then tab name class name. This id, this id, this name, this name. Now we have to close the statement and you have to close the connection. Statement dot close connection dot close. Save the project. So if we summarize, first we have to give the URL, that is JDBC MySQL and IP address. Then this is our database name. This is my username, MySQL username, MySQL password. There is class for name com.mysql.cj.jdbc driver. We have to create connection, then a statement. As connection and statement is interface, we cannot create statement object or connection object. That we have to use driver manager dot get connection, and for statement connection, this connection dot create statement. Then we have used the query This is actually MySQL query. Select from star csc.student. Then you have to create a result set to execute query. So statement dot execute query. Then we have to give this query here. Then we'll have to run a loop. We are using while loop. Then result dot next, declaring two variables id to get the data of id column and name column, that is name. Then we'll print the id and name. And last one, we have to close the statement dot close and connection dot close. And do not forget to add MySQL Connector Java 8.023 jar. Let's run the project. We got the output. If you want to give any comma here, save the project, run the project. See, ID1 name MD, ID2 Fakhrul, ID3 Alom, ID4 Sajib. If you go to MySQL Workbench, you can also see that here, that ID1 name Mohammed, ID2 name Fakhrul, ID3 name Alom, and ID4 name Sajib. I hope that you understand now how to select or fetch records or rows from a MySQL table using JDBC application. That's all for today. If you want to learn more about Java, do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.